Hello everybody, welcome to Bass and Bonsai. This is how you do it. Big, giant, largemouth bass. And oh yes, she's a kisser. Mwah. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. We are out here on the water. This is our test pond. We're not really fishing, we're just getting some testing in today. I have to admit, I went fishing yesterday, got skunked. You ain't gonna see any footage there, nothing to see. So what we're doing today, we're going through our whole lineup of rod and reels basically. So let's zoom down here. And we're going to start probably from the heaviest and work our way to the lightest baits and rod and reel combos for those lightest baits. So buckle up, hang on, let's get out here and test out some new rod and reel combo. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. Guess what we're doing today? Having a little shootout right here. See that baby right there? That's they make a bigger one. That's the biggest Whopper Plopper I throw. I may get a bigger one, I don't know, since I got some bigger combos now. But we're going to have a shootout to see if the Corrado DC can outshoot the Scorpion MGL as far as distance on big baits. Now we're doing kind of a couple different things. I'm not going to switch reels and rods. This is a 7'2" medium heavy. That's the favorite big sexy LFG on the Scorpion MGL's on that. That's the 6'10" heavy kuying Teton with the Corrado DC. Now the line is 20-pound line. This is 20-pound Hercules 8 strand. This is 20-pound Hercules 4 strand. You'll hear it, it makes a louder noise. We're just going to see if length and medium heavy to heavy and DC to regular make what kind of difference. I'm thinking this one would have the advantage because it's DC and its 8 strand braid should come a little smoother through the guides if you go by what people say. This though is a 7'2" medium heavy, should have a little more flex in the rod, maybe to, you know, rated up to an ounce, which this is just over an ounce. This is actually rated up to I think 3 ounces. So technically I'm thinking they should get about the same distance. They've both got their advantages and disadvantages. They're my two biggest combos I use. I'll go ahead and point out in this video, if you can see the balance. Now the wind's blowing, so it's hard to let it set, but see how that's pretty much balanced. Now I got like a strong wind coming at me, but these combos were not like this. I've shortened this one because I don't like a long butt where this is sticking way out. That's why I've shortened it. But while I was doing that, I added some weight back here to give me that balanced feel. That lets me get out here, and when I'm fishing, I don't have that, you know, tip heavy rod. If you guys, you know, you've heard that talk. If you've been fishing a long time, you hear it all the time. If you're just new into fishing, you'll hear people talking about they don't like rods that are tip heavy. If when you grab a rod and reel combo and pick it up and where you would normally palm it, hold it for reeling, and it just, you know, it feels heavy, that's tip heavy. I did this one a little while back, feels pretty good. Made this one feel horrible actually, so I just had to go ahead and do this one too. So when I did this one, and this one's actually, I did a better job. It's more balanced further towards the middle of the reel, somewhere right in there. See that crazy balance? It's actually going down. I also shortened this up a little bit. I didn't like it cutting into me. I don't know, I felt like when I went to put it in my gut and set the hook, this was too far up, so I shortened it by just over a half, not quite an inch. So what used to be a 7'2" rod, I shortened several inches, is just under 7 foot. But the actual length that you're casting when you're holding it to cast and, you know, fishing, this length is the same. I just shortened the butt, so it shouldn't affect anything about how this would perform. If you have one of these, this one should perform just like the one you have other than the shortened butt. Same thing with this one. If you can see, they're both, see how this one's that much shorter? This is a longer rod overall. If you compare the actual rod lengths, it's like not quite, it's like 6'11" and a half, it's not quite 7 foot. And as far as like casting wise, there's about a 2-inch difference as far as 6'10" and, you know, what would be still a 7 foot kind of thing. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but you get the idea. Okay, so I've already wasted way too much time. Which one do I even have rigged up first? So let's just jump right to and see how well this one's cast. Now yesterday I was fishing and I had to have this thing on 2 because I was throwing into the wind. I'm going back to 1. We're throwing kind of, the wind's blowing this way as you can tell against us. So I'm going to kind of throw out and towards that, there's some branches sticking out in the water. I may have to stop it. I don't want to get it caught in the weeds if it does cast that far. So you guys, can you see me? So here we go. The big Whopper Plopper. Well, I was not impressed with that cast. I think I was throwing it and the wind was catching it. Or the DC just kept slowing it down because of the wind blowing the line. And that's on the 1 setting. That's as low as you can go. That's as light as you can set this DC reel. Now it is throwing, you can make out how much line. It's throwing probably half the spool off of 20-pound braid. It actually goes into, I got a 50-pound braid backing on there, and it is getting into that. But I would have thought this Whopper Plopper would go further. Let's throw another one. And there went my Whopper Plopper. It almost hit the bank without the line. That Corrado DC, you shouldn't have done that. I'll be back. I got to go fetch my Whopper Plopper. All right, and just like that, I'm back. Luckily, I threw it all the way almost to the bank. I just went over there and scooped it up with the rod and tied it on. Our leader's very short. Let's try that again. There we go. You guys see that cast? So much line it took off. Now that is in the wind, but that's a pretty good judge. See, let's put on the other one now and see how well it does. Now you can see that's a long ways out there because I'm cranking pretty fast. This is a 7/4 to 1, but it a little ways out there. All right, well, let's switch to the other one and see what it does. Like I mentioned, these are my 2 heaviest rod and reel combos. They're my next step is I do have medium heavy, but it's only 6'7", and it's actually the medium heavy. This medium heavy is stiffer than the kuying Conqueror medium heavies, just so you know, 7'2", but it is a stiffer rod. It's kind of in between the heavy and the medium heavy. That's kind of why I got it, and it's got built on stuff on the same type of blank or same fill. But I'm guesstimating this should go further due to the rod, if this reel is any good at casting. Oh, I threw that one horribly. Let go way too late. You can hear that braid reeling it in. That's the 4 strand. I couldn't even like hear the 8 strand is awesome. I love it so far. This 4 strand, I kind of just got it trying different ones out, and I like the color. It goes very well, and I think it's going to be tough, good braid, but as far as the sound, is very annoying when none of your other reels make it. So maybe a little shorter than that DC. But I think that's about where I went the first time with that 6'10". Felt good. I mean, it cast great as far as total distance. Yeah, I feel, even though it's a longer rod, that maybe that DC is helping the other combo get maybe 10 foot further, which isn't a ton, and it is in the wind, but I'll give it one more. I haven't thrown it that many times. Let's see one more time. Now I do have it turned. I guess I should tell you where I have it set. And I've played with this one quite a bit. It likes that middle. I got it set. I think I just have one. Let me check. Let me double check. I have, yeah, so I got it set basically halfway all the way around. I got 2 of the brakes, of the 4 brakes on, and it goes from 1 to 6. I've got it set on 3, so I got it like kind of halfway is where it, playing around with it, testing it out on numerous baits. It just trouble-free, no backlashing. It was right there. You can go a little bit lighter, but then you might have a little overrun here and there, so that's why I got it there. So yeah, I'm gonna call that good and say that the Corrado on the 6'10", the Corrado DC will outcast this setup. I'm not gonna do it today. At some point I may switch them just to see, but I'm guessing that this rod with the Corrado DC would get my ultimate distance on, say, a 1 ounce or smaller bait, 3/4, just for the fact that it's gonna let the rod load up and sling this bait, and the DC is going to let it get its maximum distance. Try one more. The wind's kind of died down. I don't really feel it as much. So yeah, close. Pretty close. I'll go one more with the DC just to see. As far as which one's easier, they both, you know, feel about the same. 1 ounce bait, you got to put a little bit into it to get it to go. Wow, yeah. Almost threw all the line off. So DC reels definitely better for maximum distance. That was insane. That one, like, I got about half the spool. If you're familiar with the Corrado DC, it holds a lot of line, but I got about, whoa, that wind, it's like 20 to 40 mile an hour winds. The wind is insane. But I have this spool about halfway full of 50-pound Hercules 8 strands, and then the rest 20-pound. And it just almost threw all of that line completely off with the Whopper Plopper. And I would say it doesn't really necessarily have to do with the 6'10" more than it does the fact that that's a DC reel. All right, so anyway, hope you liked that little video. Just get an idea of how well these will throw the Whopper Plopper. Stay tuned for more videos on testing out my new gear this year, and we'll actually get out here and start catching some fish. So anyway, guys, go out, bass bonsai for yourself, and thank you for watching. I'm out of here myself. Exactly how we do it. Big largemouth bass. Let's see if it'll jump. That is a beauty. It's gonna jump.